Next question is, it's basically a screening one. Is there a role for PCR screening for HSV, routine STI screens to pick up asymptomatic shedding, or is serology a better screening assay?
Should I answer that? I mean, I think the answer is no, because it's so intermittent that you're very unlikely to, on any particular day, pick up a positive PCR. The question of routine serology, I think, was addressed very adequately by Dominic. I think there is potentially some place, and one needs to think fairly carefully as to whether or not that is part of a routine sexual health screen. But as yet, I think the jury remains out on that one as well. The difficulty, of course, is if you get a positive test, that has implications. You then need to counsel the patient. They may need to then talk to their sexual partners. There are questions about where they've acquired it from. There are questions about who they might have given it to. And so it becomes quite complex. And I think that it's not just as simple as, OK, here's your test, see you later. So I think we need to consider that carefully. But certainly in the sexual health context, PCR, I think, as a routine test has no place. But serology might have a place.
Mm-hmm. Now, this is a comment from someone in the room about C-section and within 6 hours of rupture of membranes if there's active lesions at time of delivery. And the comment is, this is based on limited and old data. The Americans have recommended C-section with longer duration of rupture of membranes because lesions may be vulval and not cervical. I mean, I think I actually made the comment yesterday, in some situations you do need to individualise. If it's a woman who has got ruptured membranes, say for 6 hours or 7 hours, is she a multi, is she a primip, is she likely to go into labour quickly, etc. So it's all about relative risks. But Cheryl, you may want to comment further.
I think it's hard to sort of go through all the nuances within a 10-minute talk, and that's actually a very fair comment. And I think for any woman, you individualise your decision. And it's actually also quite true. The data about the 6-hour cutoff is from some data, in the mid-1970s by Nemius. And when you look at it, it's not that good. So that time point is arbitrary. That's currently what we're recommending, but you should review it with each individual case.
Another question here for Dominic on the role of genotyping for HSV. Can you use this to look at the source of transmission? I'm thinking specifically here in a sexual abuse case.
You can do genotyping for herpes simplex. I mean, genotyping tends to work, genotyping in the sense of trying to work out relatedness between viruses or who gave what to who sort of thing, or whom. It's tricky. With RNA viruses such as HIV and hepatitis C and so on, the inherent genetic variability of those viruses makes it easier to do genotyping to work out the origins of an infection or a group of infections. With DNA viruses such as herpes simplex and CMV and the like, it's much more difficult because there's a lot less genetic variation that allows you to sort of work out subtle differences. Despite that, you can do it, and people have done it to look at outbreaks of herpes infections in unusual situations and so on. And it can be done by a range of methods, from sequencing the virus or looking at restriction enzyme digests of viral DNA and so on. So it can be done. But from, at least from my point of view, that would be the last thing I'd want to touch, is trying to sort out who gave which virus to which person because of all the implications.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. There's a couple more questions here, but I think as chair of this session, I really must bring this to a close as we do need to move in for the next session. So if everybody could thank with me all of the speakers. And again, thank you to Novartis for this session and to GSK and Novartis for AHMF sponsorship. And thank you all for attending.